Welcome back to Deciphering Zodiac, a chronicle of terror, brought to you by History and Crime. In this 7th episode, titled The Lake Berryessa Attack, let us delve into the chilling details of the third confirmed attack of the Zodiac Killer, which took place at the serene Lake Berryessa in Napa County, California. Disclaimer: the following content contains graphic descriptions of criminal activities. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of myself, Tammy D, the creator. I do not endorse or condone any of the actions or behaviours depicted in the true stories. The purpose of this podcast is to educate and entertain, not to glorify or sensationalise crime. On the afternoon of September 27, 1969, Bryan Hartnell and Cecelia Shepard, two college students, were enjoying what should have been a peaceful day at Lake Berryessa. Their tranquility was shattered when they were approached by a man whose appearance was as chilling as his intentions. He was wearing a black executioner-style hood with a white cross circle symbol on the chest, the mark of the Zodiac. But who were Bryan Hartnell and Cecelia Shepard, and what brought them to Lake Berryessa that day? Bryan Hartnell was a 20-year-old junior at Pacific Union College, where he was majoring in pre-law. He was a smart and ambitious student who had a keen interest in politics and history. He was also a friendly and outgoing person who enjoyed socialising and making friends. He had a girlfriend who was away at the time of the attack. Cecelia Shepard was a 22-year-old senior at Pacific Union College, where she was majoring in history. She was a bright and cheerful student who had a passion for art and music. She was also a kind and compassionate person who volunteered at a local hospital and tutored children. She had a boyfriend who was also away at the time of the attack. Bryan and Cecelia had met through their mutual friends and had developed a friendship. They had gone out a few times before, but their relationship was platonic. On the day of the attack, they had decided to spend a relaxing day at Lake Berryessa, a large and scenic reservoir that was about 30 miles from their college. The lake was a popular destination for boating, fishing, camping, and picnicking. It was a quiet and peaceful setting, ideal for enjoying nature. However, little did they know that someone was lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. Someone who had a twisted and sinister agenda. Someone who would soon become known as the Zodiac Killer. But what clues or evidence did the killer leave behind at the scene? And how did they help or hinder the investigation? The killer left behind a disturbing and puzzling trail of clues and evidence at the scene, which only added to the mystery and complexity of the case. Some of the clues and evidence that were found were a message written on the car door with a black felt tip pen which read, Vallejo 1220687469, Sept 2769-630 by knife. This message confirmed that the killer was the same person who had murdered David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen on Lake Herman Road, and Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau at Blue Rock Springs Park. It also provided the date and time of the Lake Berryessa attack and the weapon used. The message was a chilling signature, a way for the killer to claim his crimes and taunt the authorities. Footprints from a pair of wing walker boots which indicated the size and type of shoes the killer wore. The footprints also showed the direction and distance the killer had walked from and to his car, which was parked about 500 yards from the crime scene. The footprints provided a possible clue to the killer's vehicle, which could have been a light-coloured or metallic car with some damage to the paintwork, as suggested by the paint chips found at the previous crime scene. A large knife with a wooden handle and a sheath which was the weapon used to stab the victims. The knife was found near the crime scene, along with a roll of pre-cut plastic clothesline, which was used to bind the victim. The knife and the clothesline showed the level of preparation and planning that the killer had put into his attack, as well as his preference for using different weapons for different attacks. A black hood with a white cross circle symbol, which was the costume worn by the killer. The hood was not found at the scene, but was described by the surviving victim and later confirmed by the killer in his letter. The hood was a bizarre and terrifying addition to the killer's modus operandi, as it concealed his identity and displayed his mark. The hood also suggested a possible connection or influence from other sources, such as movies, comics, or cults. These are just some of the clues and evidence that were found at the scene, but none of them were conclusive or definitive. The killer had left behind a disturbing and elusive trail, and the clues that were found only served to deepen the mystery. The investigators faced a daunting task as they tried to piece together the puzzle and catch the killer. That concludes episode 7 of our series. In our next episode, we will detail the murder of cab driver Paul Stein, a crime initially overlooked as a Zodiac attack. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey through the chronicle of the Zodiac Killer. Until next time, stay safe, keep the lights on, and continue to join us as we navigate the dark corridors of history and crime. Remember, in the words of George Santayana, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it.